What is going on, everybody out there? Lamont at large. Today we are walking on the Las Vegas Strip here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to take a quick tour of the Luxor Hotel and Casino, the most evil hotel on the Strip. Without further ado, let's get rocking and rolling. And here we are in front of the Luxor Hotel and Casino. We're going to briefly talk about its history. So construction for this place began. Why, you are being quite loud in my video. Did you want to be in the video? Yeah. Okay, well, do you have anything else to say? No? No. All right. Anyways, like I was saying, that bird was loud in my ear. So this is the Luxor Hotel and Casino. So construction began for this establishment on April 21st, 1992, and the construction of it actually occurred very quickly. It only took about 18 months, and it opened on October 15th, 1993. Now, originally it had 2,526 rooms. Back in those days, you could stay at the Luxor for 15 bucks a night. Now, no, you can't. And then later on, they expanded. They built this, I think this is 22 stories, this tower right here. So now it has a total of 4,407 rooms. Now, originally when it was built, it had an Egyptian theme to it. That was back in those days when Las Vegas was trying to rebrand itself as a place where you could bring your kids, family fun and all that stuff. They would have never, ever built this thing nowadays. But of course, that whole shtick with the family and kids, that only lasted about, about a couple of years or something like that. So a couple of fun facts about this place, if you want to call it fun. The design, pyramid design, so you're thinking, wow, so there's actually rooms in there. Some people don't know that, but yeah, that's where the rooms are. And when you get to your room, instead of taking an elevator, which would go straight up, they call it an inclinator, so it kind of moves kind of sideways like this. Don't you love the animation with my hands that I'm doing on this channel? I could have hired somebody to design me an animation. I could have done that. So a lot of you watching this video have probably been to Las Vegas at least once. Vegas gets about 40 million some odd visitors a year. Now you'll notice at night, on top of that pyramid, it has a light, right? So that light is the most powerful man-made light in the world. And you can see that light on a clear night all the way from Los Angeles. So when pilots take off out of LAX, they go up in the air. When the visibility is good, you can see that light, which is powered by several I think different lights. I think it's a total of 39 or 40 lights, 7,000 watts. The beam shoots up directly into the sky. $20 an hour is the estimated cost in terms of electricity consumption for that light. And then at night, when you see that light, you can see a bunch of moths circling around it. And also the moths attract bats, and then the bats attract owls. So it's like a little kind of a weird ecosystem up there. So fun fact, this is actually the hotel where Tupac was staying at the weekend that he came here for the Tyson fight, later getting shot and killed. So right now we're going to take a quick tour of the inside of this place. We're going to talk about a couple of deaths that occurred here. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but many casinos, and maybe I might talk about this more in a future video, but a lot of people die in casino rooms here. A lot of people die. And Vegas doesn't want you to know about all of the deaths that occur in the rooms. Well, because you want to come to Vegas to have fun. You don't want to come to Vegas to hear about all the dark, depressing stories. The kinds of stories that mainly are on my channel. So without further ado, we're going to take a quick tour inside, and we're going to talk about some of those untimely deaths. Okay, so I'm not really sure what casinos' rules are on doing videos or whatever. I'm going to try to get this done as quickly as I can because I don't want to get kicked out of the Luxor. I mean, I kind of do because it would be great theater for you guys. But we're just gonna kind of do this really quick. So in case any security tells me I can't film anymore, then we'll just cut it out. So we're gonna walk to the food court area right here. Currently, we are going up the escalator right here. And when we reach the top of it, you're gonna see a food court to your left. Now, it is here about 30 years ago. Before the food court, it was a buffet. And on September 26th, 1996, way up there on the 26th floor was a woman, and she was sitting on top of one of those, I guess you would call it, those little walls or banisters or whatever you want to call it. And her feet was just dangling, looking straight down to where the buffet used to be, which was right here. So she's just dangling and people are looking at her like, what the hell is she doing? This woman jumps all the way down from the 26th floor, crashing down to where the buffet used to be. Now, of course, I can't exactly know for sure where it was, but it happened right here. Now, there's no identity of the woman involved, because the internet wasn't insanely popular at the time. But from eyewitness reports, it was stated that the woman appeared to be in her 30s. She was either Asian or Hispanic, and obviously very despondent about something that occurred in her life. And also, there's another story. I can't corroborate whether somebody else did the same thing from the 10th floor or not. But as you can see, in case you don't know, when you go to your rooms, that's the hallway. So if you get a room and you open the door, you can see the casino floor right below you. Just about a month after that woman jumped from the 26th floor, a 16-year-old runaway named Sarah Gruber, originally from Mountain View, California, ran away from home, and she ran away here to Las Vegas, where she was working as a sex worker. Within the 3 months before her murder, she had been cited by Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department 13 times for anything from loitering to prostitution. So on that night, she met a man who agreed to pay her $300 for sex by the name of Michael Hathaway. He was 30 years of age. I believe she was staying either on the 10th or the 12th floor. So they engaged in sexual intercourse, and after that, for some unknown reason, of course we don't know the reasons of why anybody does anything, he decides to strangle her to death. And just as he was leaving the room, he thought that she was dead, and he seen that she was still breathing, so he takes his foot and presses it on her windpipe, crushing her larynx, thus ultimately killing her. Now, lots of cameras in casinos. Actually, casinos are one of the safest places to be at because there's cameras absolutely everywhere. So eventually later on, he was caught, arrested, and he was tried for sexual assault and first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. He's already been denied parole twice, so his next parole date is June 22nd of 2023. So hopefully he never ever gets out ever again, because we don't need creeps and deviants like that roaming around here in Las Vegas, Nevada. In case anybody was wondering how this runaway was able to get cited by the police so many times and not be returned to her parents in California, well, she was using a fake ID, and that fake ID said that she was 21 years of age. So let's get our attentions over here right in front of me. Remember how I said earlier in the video, because of the pyramid shape, the Luxor does not have an elevator, it has an inclinator? Well, in the early morning hours, March of 2012, a couple of airmen who were stationed out in Las Vegas at Nellis Air Force Base, they came here to party it up. Now, of course, you come here to drink too much and do other stuff too much. So during the course of those partying hours, they got into some kind of a shoving match over something or another. Now, I don't know what they were talking about, but needless to say, I'm not exactly sure where the fight occurred. It could have occurred right here. It could have occurred on the other side. But they start a shoving match, and one of the airmen pushes the other against these doors. Not these very doors, but doors that look like this. And I don't know why, I don't know what happened, but the doors actually opened and there was no elevator right there. And the guy fell about 25 feet down. 911 was called and they rushed the airman to UMC Hospital, where he later died of his injuries. It's just a weird death that oftentimes occurs in Las Vegas and sometimes is simply swept under the rug. This right here is the food court, and if you look right in front of you, you'll see Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs. This place has been here for quite some time. Now, back in 2007, a guy used to work right here, 24-year-old Willbot Durantes Antonio. He worked at this Nathan's hot dog stand. It was his second job. He was an immigrant. I think he was from Nicaragua. Don't quote me on that. Coming over here trying to work. And he met a girl who also worked here at the Luxor, and I guess he liked her. Her name was Karen Chali. On May 7, 2007, it's about 4 a.m. So Willbot, he's just getting off of work, cleaning everything down, making sure everything is nice and clean for the shift for the morning. And he walks with his new girlfriend out to the parking garage where his car is. Willbot and Karen come walking out of this walkway right here towards Willbot's car. Now, when he gets to his car, he notices that there's an upside down coffee cup on top of the roof. Now, sometimes, you know, when you see trash in your car, you probably think somebody that parked next to you left some thing just being rude on the top of your car, and normally you just grab it and throw it away. So as Willbot went to grab it, a loud, powerful explosion, boom! So loud, I'm pretty certain that you could hear the explosion from at least damn near the Flamingo, because at that time, 4 o'clock in the morning, the strip back then, gonna be very, very quiet. Now, Willbot would die from his injuries as all of the force of the blast and all of the shrapnel entered his body. Amazingly enough, Karen survived. She didn't even get injured, so I don't know if she was walking to her own car or maybe they kissed and then she was parked over here and he was parked over there. But they had just started dating for only a few months. Right across the street from the Luxor, at this gas station, at that exact moment that explosion occurred, there was 2 guys here, but they weren't here to refuel or buy candy bars inside of the convenience store. No, they were here because they were waiting for an explosion to occur. It was one Omar Rueda Denvers and his friend Porfirio Duarte Herrera. Denvers was the ex-boyfriend of Karen and father of her child. So he had contacted his friend Herrera about helping him take out his reported competition, Willbot. And that's exactly what happened. Herrera had some kind of a rudimentary understanding of explosives, and he had used a similar device sometime before this murder occurred at a Home Depot here in Las Vegas to try to take out a man that his ex-girlfriend was seeing at the time. Now, it took a little while for the police to catch up to these 2, but they finally did. And later on, they would be both found guilty of Willbot's murder and both be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, Porfirio, he made the news a couple years ago because he actually escaped from prison here in Nevada. Not exactly sure how he escaped, but he was able to make his way from Indian Springs, which is about 45 miles north of here, down to Las Vegas. And the police here caught him just as he was getting on a bus headed towards, you guessed it, Mexico. Luckily, they were able to apprehend him as he was boarding a bus, and they even got him as he had his mask on, and boy, that guy was ready. He was 1 6 or 7 hour bus ride away from freedom, and if he had got to Mexico, Lord only knows if we would have been able to ever get him, because he could have gone from Mexico down to Nicaragua, El Salvador, he'd have been long gone. Who knows? He could have disappeared into the night. Anyways, that was only but a couple stories of the bad that has occurred here in Las Vegas. Many hotels and casinos out here. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this quick video. I'll catch up with you on the next one. Be safe, and when you come to Las Vegas, we'll come to have a good time. But you know, always be aware of your surroundings and always be aware of the company you keep. I'll catch up with you in the next video. Peace out.